Hello friends, welcome to the class of quality assurance, and this subject is actually a part of a B.Pharm course, and this quality assurance subject includes the various different types of procedures and documentation that is happening in pharmaceutical industry. One of the very important subject, especially if we discuss the things related to the pharmaceutical industries, how they works. And in this subject today we are going to discuss another very important topic, that is product recall procedure in pharmaceutical industry. In the last class we have discussed about the complaint management system, then how to handle the recalled good from the pharmaceutical recalled goods from the pharmaceutical in the pharmaceutical industry, and in this topic we are going to discuss in detail about the what are the different types of recall procedures. So, first thing, there may be a chance of arising any kind of a complaint from the market through various sources. It may be a distributor, it may be a customer, or it may be pharmacist, or it may be through any doctor or practitioner. These may be a different types, there may be a different types of sources through which the complaint may arises, and after the investigation of complaint, there is a procedure to recall the procedure from the market. So, in this topic actually we are going to discuss about the what are the different types of recall procedures that are actually used by the pharmaceutical industry to recall their products if there is any kind of a quality defect that was actually found inside their product. So, let us start the recall procedure in pharmaceutical industry. So, these all are the contents of this topic. The first thing that we are going to discuss about the definition of product recall. What is actually product recall? Then second thing, what are the different reasons for the recall of any pharmaceutical product? Other than these, what are the recall procedures? How pharmaceutical companies recall their product from the market once it is once it is distributed. Fourth thing is the recall classification. There are some classification of the recall. If you remember, in the last lecture we have discussed about the types of complaint, classification of complaints. Likewise, there are classification related to the recall also. And next thing, what are the different levels of recall? And the fourth thing is the timelines for effective recall system. As you can understand easily, every recall cannot be the same. There one product, if it is causing a life threatening effect, and another product there may be a case that there is simply problem that is related to packaging, then recall mechanism will definitely differ in this case. The first product will have to be recalled immediately from the market, but on the other hand, the second product in which there is some labeling problem is there, that product may be recalled through some other mechanisms. So, there may be some timelines also for the effective recall system that we are deciding on the basis of case by case. So, these all are the topics that we are going to discuss in this lecture. So, let us discuss these topics one by one. The first thing is the what is recall. So, the recall is the basically action taken to withdraw or remove the drugs from the distribution or use including corrective action for which deficiency are reported in quality, efficacy or safety. So, now you can easily understand recall is basically initiated in any kind of problems that are related to quality in the product. Similarly, there may be any matter which is related to the efficacy. The product is not producing that much therapeutic effect that it should be, and in that case product may also be recalled. Other than this, the matter that are related to the safety, for example, if any product contains an impurity which may produce toxicity in humans, in such cases the product may also be recalled from the market. So, this recall is basically an action that is taken to withdraw the product from the market because of the deficiencies that may relate to the quality. There may be a deficiency related to the quality, or there may be a deficiency related to the efficacy, or that may relate to the safety. Now, the next thing is the reasons of recall. Now, the defective products related to the quality includes not of standard quality. That means, the product may be adulterated, or there may be a chance that it is a kind of a spurious drug. So, defective products may be adulterated, or it may be kind of a spurious drug. So, this is one of the simple reason for the recall of any kind of a product from the market. Now, other than this, safety and efficacy is also a reason that we have already discussed, that safety and efficacy relates recall that includes the serious adverse reactions and death. So, this may also be a reason for the recall of any pharmaceutical product. Other than the there is an example. There was a product that is Vioxx, which is a brand of a rofecoxib, that was introduced by the Merck in 1999, and that was recalled from the market on September 30, 2004. This is a very good anti-inflammatory drug, and this was basically used for osteoarthritis and for menstrual pain in women. But this product is withdrawn. This product is actually withdrawn by the Merck in 2004. The reason behind this is this rofecoxib basically increases the risk of cardiovascular disease. That means, there is a some kind of a life threatening effect, and that is why this Vioxx or rofecoxib is withdrawn from the market by the company. Now, other than this, there may be some other reason for the withdrawal of or recall of any product, that is drug prohibited under the provisions of Drug and Cosmetic Act. For example, the time to time Government of India or any government in the government agency in the world, this redefines the drugs that are classified under the banned drugs. So, suppose if any manufacturer is producing a drug and that drug is included in the banned drug list, that is under the section 26A, under the section 26A, actually section 26A empowers the central government of India to prohibit manufacture etc. of any drug and cosmetic in public interest. So, if central government thinks that that any kind of a drug which is not in the favor of a safety in the public interest, that are actually listed under the banned drug, and that kind of drugs can be should be withdrawn from the market. For example, there was a fixed dose combination launched of a glucosamine and ibuprofen that is actually withdrawn from the market. The reason behind recall is lack of rationality and therapeutic justification. The central government or the government of India after some time they or the central drug investigation agencies, they starts they came to this conclusion that glucosamine and ibuprofen combination is irrational. There is no need of such kind of combination. So, this is another reason for the withdrawal or the recall. Then those products for which the product licenses are suspended or cancelled. So, there may also be a chance that the manufacturing licenses are may cancelled, and in those cases also products has to be recalled from the market. Now, there may be a voluntary recall also by the pharmaceutical company. There may be a voluntary withdrawal of the drug from the market by manufacturer. So, this is also a case. These all are the reasons of the recall of any pharmaceutical product from market. So, now let us discuss what are the recall procedures. The first thing, so let us start with the voluntary recall. Voluntary recall is from the manufacturer's end. So, first of all, in this case a recall initiated by the company or manufacturer as a result of any kind of a abnormal observation in any product that is related to the quality, that may be after review of any stability studies, that may be a internal or external, any kind of any periodic review, or investigation of any market complaint or any other failures. So, suppose the product is not stable in the atmospheric conditions outside in the market, that in those cases the manufacturer may voluntarily recall their product from the market. So, this is also a case. Other than this, voluntary recall is triggered in any incident that affects the quality, safety, efficacy of the batch product in question, such as if the batch or batches are found to be not compliant with regulatory specifications during the post marketing stability studies. So, if the any product is not complying the regulatory specifications that are related to the stability in the market, such kind of product may also be voluntarily recalled by the manufacturer. If the batch is found to be defective during the investigation of market complaint, this is another reason. Then during any failure investigation, the complaint arises and a manufacturer came to know that the this complaint is correct, the complaint is right. In those cases also the manufacturer will voluntarily recall their product. It is observed that failure under investigation might have adverse quality impact or already released batches. For example, possibility of contamination, mix up, degradation, etc. In those cases also manufacturer may withdraw their product. Now, fourth thing, if any unusual observation is noted in the retention samples, there are some samples which are retained by the manufacturer. So, if any kind of a abnormal changes that may be seen in the those retention samples, the manufacturer may withdraw. For example, if manufacturer is producing emulsion, and after some time he came to know that these retention samples are cracked, the both oil and liquid phase separates, and in those cases they can withdraw their product from the market. And the fifth thing, if the post marketing surveillance report, pharmacovigilance report indicates that there is serious safety risk associated with the product. So, if in the future there may be a case that any product starts producing any harmful effect, long term harmful effect, and in those cases also manufacturer may voluntarily recall their product from the market. So, these all are the these all may be a reason for the voluntary recall. Next thing is the statutory recall. So, what are the things in this? The recall directed by the drug controller authorities. These all kind of recalls are classified into statutory recall. That this drug controlling authority may also instruct the manufacturer to recall their product, and they notify that the product is considered to be in violation of the laws. There may be some violation of law, and in those cases this drug control authority will instruct to the manufacturer to withdraw their product from the market. For example, the product that are declared of not of standard quality by the government analyst, or there may be a case the drug is banned under section 26A of the Drug and Cosmetic Act. So, in those cases also the product has to be the government issue a notification to all manufacturers to withdraw their product from the market. Now, there may be a case that there is a contravention of the rule 104A of the Drug and Cosmetic Rules 1945, that is prohibition against altering inscription on the containers, labels or wrappers of the drug. Suppose there is a label of any drug in which any other third person starts putting their own label illegally and starts selling in the market, and such kind of inscription is also prohibited under the Drug and Cosmetic Act. And in those cases also this drug control authority may ask the original manufacturer to withdraw their product from the market, because in this case also there is a chance that the user or the customer will not came to know the actual information about the product. Other than these, statutory recall may be triggered in response to the direction or mandate of the drug regulatory authorities, that is central or state, in one or more of the situation as follows. What are these situations? To recall the product or batch considered to be in violation of laws it administered, such as not of standard quality, etc. This is the first reason. Then to recall the banned drug, another reason. Then the labeling or the promotion material that are considered to be violation of law. There may be a chance that labeling the label that is used for the packaging of pharmaceutical product is not appropriate. So, there may be a chance that regulatory agency may ask the manufacturer to withdraw their product or recall their product. And other than this the product violation rule, that is 106. There are some diseases classified under the schedule J, which are actually diseases that can be controlled, but that cannot be cured. For example, diabetes. Or then suppose if any manufacturer is claiming on their label that these product may cure the diabetes, AIDS or baldness, etc., that means this is a false information, and in those cases also any manufacturer can be asked by the drug control authority to withdraw their product. Now the next thing is the recall classification. So, there are basically three different types of classification: class 1, class 2 and class 3 classification. This classification is actually based on the relative degree of health hazards by country regulatory authorities. So, let us understand this level of recall one by one. The first type of classification is class 1 recall, and this class 1 recall is a situation in which there is a reasonable probability that the use or exposure of any defective product will cause serious adverse effect, consequences or death, or as well as banned under 26A section of Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940. So, class 1 recall is initiated when there is a serious there is a chance of any serious health hazard or inside the patients, or there may be a banned drug which there may be a chance that the government included that drug in the banned list, and those products can be should be recalled immediately from the market, and such kind of classification or those products, those recalls are basically classified under this class 1 classification. For example, microbial contamination in sterilized product. So, you can easily understand if any microbial contamination is found in if any kind of a microbial contamination is found in any sterilized product, or there may be a finding of a high level of heavy metals, those products should be required to be immediately withdrawn from the market, and such kind of recalls are actually the class 1 recall. There is another example, one lot of a losartan potassium and hydrochlorothiazide, that is 100 mg and 25 mg tablets. These are recalled in August 2018 due to the presence of an impurity, that is N-nitrosodiethylamine. Because this impurity could cause a cancer, that is based on a laboratory investigation, and this impurity was found in API of losartan USP manufactured by this manufacturer. And in this case, the regulatory agency or the US regulatory agency FDA asked the company to withdraw their product, and this kind of recall is basically class 1 recall. Now, class 2 is a situation in which the use of or exposure to a defective product may cause temporary adverse health consequence, or where the probability of the serious adverse health consequence is remote. So, serious health consequence may not be there. There may be a chance that patient may be in some adverse reaction, adverse condition, but there is no chance of a life threatening reaction. So, in those cases, class 2 recall may be initiated. So, there is an example that the Pfizer recall the Advil, that is an ibuprofen suspension, due to the labeling error. In this, basically what happens, the dose mentioned in the label is more. So, there is a chance of a overdose inside this pediatric patient, but ibuprofen is quite safe drug. So, there may be obviously if the label error is there, there is a chance of a overdose, but there is no chance of any kind of a life threatening side effect. So, this in this case class 2 recall may be initiated. Now, class 3 recall is a situation in which use of or exposure to defective product is not likely to cause any adverse health consequences. So, this is the class 3 we recall. For example, 31,762 bottles of bupropion hydrochloride extended release tablets were recalled from the market. This is these were manufactured by Sun Pharmaceutical Industries. The reason behind this, they failed in the dissolution specification. As we know that the tablets should undergo the dissolution studies, they basically failed in the dissolution studies, and that is why they are recalled from the market. So, this kind of recalls are classified into in the class 3 recall. Now, levels of recall, the level or depth of the recall of any product or batch shall determine on the recall classification as the level to which distribution has taken place. So, on what level any kind of product has reached, as you can easily understand, the product first stored in warehouses, then it is distributed to the carrying and forwarding agents, CNFs, or the depots of any pharmaceutical companies, then it goes to the wholesalers, then it is distributed to the retailers or pharmacies, and then the customers purchases from there, and finally it reaches to the customers. So, this is the usual channel that we are following in pharmaceutical industry. So, these level of classification are based on how much the product is penetrated in this channel. So, there are basically 3 levels of recall, such as consumer use, retailer and wholesale level. The consumer or user level, which may vary with product, including an intermediate wholesale or retailer level. Consumer or user may include the individual consumers, patient, physician and hospitals. So, there may be a chance that product should has to be withdrawn from the consumer level also. Now, there may be a chance the consumer as the any kind of product will have to be withdrawn from the retailer level, and there may be a chance that we have to withdraw the product from wholesaler level only. Now, all class 1 recall should be executed to the level of wholesaler distribution, retail and consumer level. So, if there is a class 1 recall, we have to recall the product right from the customer's level, and if there is a class 2 recall, then recall should be executed to the level of wholesale and retail only, and if there is a class 3 recall, then it can be executed up to the level of wholesaler only. So, these are the some concepts that are related to the recall. Now, there are some timelines for the effective recall system. So, what are these timelines? That again that depends upon the what type of recall that what kind of recall that we are initiating. So, based on the risk that are involved in the product, we have to recall the product. So, at the timeline of 24 hours up to the maximum of 72 hours for the class 1 recall. So, this is a timeline, because class 1 recall is the actually very initiated because of a very serious therapeutic or side effect that is occurring in the patient. That is why this kind of product should be immediately withdrawn within the 24 hours up to maximum of 72 hours. Whereas, class 2 recall up to a maximum of 10 days and class 3 recall up to a maximum of 30 days is allowed. So, these all are the some timelines for the effective recall system. So, this is all with this topic. Hope you all have liked this video. So, thank you friends.